So hello everyone. Glad to see everyone this day online in our Sitecore user group, Belarus online first ever meetup. And yeah, we also just that's because the COVID-19 lockdown, and we also in Belarus just decided to organize this meetup online. And today we will have a three presenter. So Vladimir Hill, Vadzim Papko, and Sergey Baranov. And Vadzim Papko will be first. And so let's start. And one more thing, if you have a question, so you can raise your hand, and after my presentation, I will answer. And also, you can put some questions in a chat, and also I will take a look at them. Okay, so my presentation will be about SitecoreJSS and SitecoreSXA together. Is it real? And first experience. And also I will share some notes how we can make together this, and I will share some benefits of this of using the SitecoreJSS and SitecoreSXA together. First of all, I would like to introduce a bit myself. So I am Vadzim Papko, and I have been working for Sam Solutions as a lead Sitecore developer. And also I was responsible for the mentoring in internal.NET Sitecore labs in Sam Solutions. And also I have some new additional roles like a C# trainer at AT Academy of High Tech Park of Belarus. And this year I also was awarded as a Sitecore Most Valuable Professional in Technique. And you can find me also in a GitHub, in a Twitter, and also in a Slack. So today I will tell you a bit why I just decided to share my knowledge about this topic, and also I will share some SXA and JSS benefits, and that will be some demos, and at the end of my presentation, so I will answer to your questions if you have. So that's why I just decided to prepare this talk, this presentation, and to share this with community. So first of all, that's everyone who just joined probably has been involved to the Global Virtual SUGCON 2020. That was 2 weeks ago. And on this event, that was one great topic, SXA JSS Ultimate Showdown, that was shared with Sitecore evangelists, so Mark Van Alst and Anastasia Flynn. So they really great, a great presentation. So and also, as you can see, on that time I tweeted some posts. One of them just a question, who win, guys? And as you can see, that was some discussions of that topic. And after that, Anastasia also tweeted that yeah, SitecoreJSS great, SitecoreSXA also great, but it's when they together are most this is most flexible and powerful. And I just decided, hey, probably I can also just share my knowledges, my thoughts in this presentation, because I have been involved in a project where we are building the SXA and JSS together. And this talk will be will based on some prerequisites. This is prerequisites of our current projects. So we just working with Sitecore XP1 9.2 managed cloud. That means 24/7 support by Sitecore. So also we use SitecoreSXA 1.9, SitecoreJSS 12, and as for the development and modes and integrations on a JSS side, we use Sitecore first approach and integrated mode. So why our client and we also suggest go together start this project and to combine Sitecore and as JSS and SitecoreSXA together. So there are some things that really take place. So as you can see, this is the client would like to have a multi-site support. So that means where they gonna build many sites, and also they gonna to support branding, so, some themes, something like that. And for sure, so that's because SXA and JSS has been informed last year in London SUGCON by Sitecore that was delivered in Sitecore XP 9.2. Also, currently we have two separate development teams, and front-end team doesn't know Sitecore, but know the React, and backend team knows Sitecore. And this is was our decision why we really can go with SitecoreJSS and SitecoreSXA together. And now I'm just will share you some benefits, not all benefits, but some benefits I already have discovered, and that's really help us, and really the great benefits just using SXA and JSS together. The first benefit, this is probably, I would say this is a JSS benefit, like a Sitecore first development workflow. So we know that JSS provides also other workflow, like a code first workflow, but why we just have chosen this Sitecore first development workflow. So first of all, this workflow, like building any non-JSS Sitecore sites, that's great for us. And also creating roles. This is like adding new page in a content editor. So we do not need any stuff in a front-end site. And also the backend team knows Sitecore. As I mentioned before, front-end team doesn't know Sitecore, and we also prefer this backend approach. And also JSS app has no responsibility for defining the structure of the data. So that means that in a Sitecore first approach, the backend team just provides some contract agreement and create templates, renderings, and after that just to ship this to the like a contract to a front-end team. And also the Sitecore suggests if you are going to create some complex content or complex architecture visions. So this is a good candidate, like choose Sitecore first development workflow. And we also did it. So how to start with Sitecore first development workflow? Because out of the box, there is no SitecoreJSS just provide for us code first workflow, and also there is a JSS SLI script like JSS create, site name, and React. This is a template, and the new front end project will be generated, will be scaffolded, and but this is the first. This is a Sitecore. This is a code first approach, and if we are gonna to switch to the Sitecore first, we need to make some steps. On this screen, you can see that we need to delete some stuff. For instance, we can delete the data folder. This data folder just contains the definitions for the code first approach. Also, we do not need disconnected mode proxy.js file. Also, we can delete definitions. That's also the definitions that contain some templates, components, rows configurations, and also we can remove all components that was prepared by Sitecore, like a demo components, and we can keep it, but we can remove it. And on the front-end side, so first thing, we need just to delete this stuff. Then we need to trigger the JSS setup script to set up our connection to our environment. We are going to deliver our build. And then when we configure this connection, we just need to trigger JSS deploy files, and that is all. Sitecore suggests also make a first deployment like a code first. So there is another script, but we in our experience we really do not need. So we can just start with this command and to deploy this the root build to our environment. Then, on the Sitecore side, we have SXA. So before trigger this deploy JSS deploy files, we need to set up this Sitecore instance, Sitecore site in a Sitecore admin panel. So we just using the scaffolding scripts like new JSS tenant. Then we create under this tenant, we can create new JSS site. And as you can see on the left side, this really flexible and really quick. And we just named the site, and site will be scaffolded. Then we need to deploy our build to this Sitecore. And one more thing, we need to double check. There is a basic JSS layout that's responsible for the layout template, and we need to specify the root placeholders that we already also defined in a front-end site, as you can see. So by default, this is like the three main header, main, footer placeholders, and that's it. For right now, this is the first benefit that's a really great Sitecore first approach. the second benefit, this is SXA benefit. We have a really, in SXA, we have a really flexible site settings item. So we do not need to create any page files to configure new sites. We just have site settings items under each site, and there are dozens settings we can really configure. For instance, so we have site name. On the right side we see application name. This name should be the same like a front end site application name. That's other way that will be not connected. Also, we can configure GraphQL endpoints, the root file system path where our build will be shipped. And also, I like the feature like a virtual folder. For instance, in a local environment, if we are going to build many sites, we can use just virtual folder. And for each site, we can create this some prefixes and we do not need any host editing, so we do not need to add some additional host to work with multi-sites. The next benefit, this is SXA Modules. Why this is a really cool feature on SXA? So SXA Modules allow us to add some modifications on the SXA side. So our decision in a team was do not synchronize content at all. So that means we just synchronize only root tenant item. That's all, and all sites under roots. I mean, all stuff we do not synchronize because we think this is the Sitecore content, and the best approach do not synchronize content, right? Because the author is responsible for that. But to make the content author life a bit easier, we need to specify some, for instance, settings or add appropriate data source folders under data item, etc., etc. And say SXA modules just help us. As you can see, it's also really easy to create a new model. Just click a scaffolding script. Later I will demo it. But we just faced with one issue. So that's this stuff does not supported by SXA JSS sites. And we just decided to extend it, and we extended the existing scaffolding scripts for just SXA site, and we implemented it in our project, and also we also able to use this scaffolding scripts we called it SXA JSS modules, and later I also will demonstrate this stuff. This on the screen on the right side on the bottom, you will see that the modules will allow us to add some actions. For instance, we can add any item to our site. We can edit item. We can execute script. We can add some validation scripts, post-pre actions, and something. And this is real flexible benefit that SXA provides for us. And now I am just gonna to demo it a bit. So this is my virtual machine, and I have already have the Sitecore instance. And here, so as you can see, this is my JSS application. So I just already scaffolded, and as you can see, there is no any data folder, and also Sitecore has just config. That's all. So there is no any. So all stuff that's relates to the code first approach was deleted. And as for the also components, I just add some two sample components like rich text and standalone image. So that's pretty easy implementation. And there is so only two components, and so all stuff will be deleted. And just for the connection string, I also configured it, and to trigger to deploy any changes, we need to trigger this command, but I have already done, and already the build already shipped to our instance. And as you can see, we have I have a site, and this is a dist folder that already this one has been shipped. Built. Inside there are many I need for some others demo. And if we jump back to the Sitecore, so I already created a tenant. So if we are going to create a new one, it's really flexible just to trigger insert in under content. And as we can see before was also, this is tenant and tenant folder SXA, but we can see JSS and JSS tenant. And I already create this tenant, and already I created some sites, but also you can just select JSS site and add some settings like a site name, like a host name, virtual folder, and modules. That's I will demo, and settings deployment security that was configured in this part. And currently, I'm just demo one. I can create just a basic site just to demonstrate that it's really it's not long to wait, just really flexible and really fast. And you can see that, so that's a new site will be already created to this one. Yeah, but also this site is not listening to the JSS, because this site has the different name. But I have already prepared this site for the demo, and for instance, I can open the experience editor. That's we can see that it works. And we also have some components, image component and rich text components that's already added and created. And on this demo, and if we navigate to the site settings for this site, we can see that we have application name. This is a React JSS application, SAG name, that also the path to this build, and the layout service is responsible for just to connect with our sites. And also we have the site setting that's demonstrated that there are some cool features. For instance, we can create a virtual folder, so also start item. Also, we can, for the development approach, we can switch to master base just to without doing any publish. And if I just, as you can see, for the SAG Belarus, we have a SAG SAC virtual folder, and if I just navigate to my site and add the SAC, oops, temp servers run. Oops. Oh, that's demo site, demo name. Something was wrong. Probably I will. This site was broken. My removed site. Just it's okay. So let me try again. Belarus. So suck. That seems I haven't specified for that site virtual folder, and that's broken. The main host. Yeah, that's fixed. Whew. And as we can see, so that's we have this virtual path, and that's really great. And also, as for the other pages, for instance, S1, S3. So as I mentioned, so we do not set up any roads in a React site. So that's in Sitecore first approach that works like in a basic Sitecore. So if we have just put the asset in, this is a component that's already that is not exist. It's also I would like to tell a bit about that, and also as the S3, that's we see that's all stuff works. And as for the yellow placeholders, as we can see that if Sitecore, if inside of the JSS, there is no this component, but we have in a Sitecore, this great placeholder will be appeared, and that's help us. So how we just haven't implemented it yet, and tell the front-end team, hey, could you please to implement this component. All right, so, and as for the SXA modules, as I mentioned, there is the real cool feature that's the SXA modules. Let me navigate to the system. We have the settings. And here, for instance, for the future, we have already some, I have already created JSS SXA modules, how to create this module and what does it mean. For instance, I can create the JSS model, as I mentioned, that is not supported out of the box. We just extended existing scaffolding for SXA, and for right now, this we're also able to add this module. So this module works, can make some many things. For instance, I can demo. I can call this like a demo model, and here I need I can specify some the places where this model like a folder will be created. I need just to the settings, because I do not need any other stuff. And also there is a possibility to set up JSS tenant or JSS site module. So I just would like to add the JSS site module, and then I will create it. And as you can see, this module already shipped there. And what I can do in this model, so I can create, as I mentioned, some actions. And for instance, I would like to add JSS web, add images, for instance, images folder. And after that, so in this model, I can specify, as you can see, this is a generic JSS site, and I can specify the item I would like to add. For instance, I need to add to the data, and then I navigate to the my templates, for instance, and also select, for instance, media and standalone image folder, and also call this images folder demo 1, something like that. And that's it. After that, if we are going to during the content building or deployment, so we can tell content author, or we can also integrate in a CI/CD pipeline process. So I would like to add, for instance, to my this site, this module, and let's see what's happened. For right now, this already created some models, and these models we can flexible remove already with this stuff. Just remove these models, save, and after that I can, just a second, something. So, oops, something what's happened with my virtual machine. So when I navigated this site property and click scripts add site model, and the new window will be appeared, and this is the script will tell us, hey, this site does not install contain this model, and would you like to install it? And I tell him, yeah, sure, that's I would like to install this demo. And after that, so we can see that our data so already contains images folder demo, so data source folder for the future data sources, like I already created for this. So yeah, and this is a real SXA models, a real flexible way. And probably you will ask how we can make a deployment with this stuff, because as I mentioned, we do not synchronize any stuff on the tenant. So and how we ship this model. So this model shipped, we also, the one guy from my team integrated also additional model just to ship with, and we integrated this in our Azure CI/CD pipelines. And during the deployment, these models, all existing modules that we shipped, will be automatically installed to all sites. So that's it for this demo. Now I'm gonna to switch to my presentations and talk a bit about others stuff. So, and also the other benefit, this is also like SXA model. This is additional error pages model. So we can really specify using SXA error handling. So that means, as you can see, we can specify the page not found link and server error for 100 error, for instance. And but you know, this also stuff does not support it yet with in JSS SXA sites. And we also a bit customized it and also implemented our model for that, and all this also stuff works well. So that's a real also great cool feature. So you do not think about building some additional pipeline processes to customize the page not found or server pages. So it's really flexible. And the second benefit, this is a presentation or partial also design. So as you know, SXA provides for us the real cool feature like a presentation. So what does it mean? We can create for the some partial designs. What is a partial design? For instance, if we are going to use some component section that's will be the same on different pages, for instance, like a footer header. So we can specify, we can create a partial for that, and then we can use a page designs. The page designs, this contains a partials, and then we can specify for each item, for each page, we can specify this page design, and that's it. So we do not think about that anyway anymore. So you know, that's also a real cool feature. And also that I will demo it a bit later. The next benefit, the SXA benefit, this is a multi-site. So yeah, this is a real great feature. So as you have seen, that I can create the new site very fast. So, and SXA just provides for us a really flexible mechanism to make these sites, to build as many as we would like, and how long it is. So as we also demoed, you just need to trigger this scaffolding action and give a site name, specify host name if you need, and select modules if you need, and that's it. And for the and how does it take to create this? That's less than 1 minute. Sure that you have dozens modules, for instance, this will be a bit longer, 2 minutes, but yeah, it's real quick, and no need any patches, no need any configurations. Just click one button, set up some settings, that's all. That's really cool. And also, I will quickly switch to this and demonstrate it. As for the multi-site, so you can already see that I have already. And as for the the presentation stuff, so we have this partial designs, and for instance, I have already created some footers, and if I navigate to the footer, I also able to open this in Experience Editor, and so set up this the picture, and then I also have the possibility to work with Experience Accelerator tab here, and also I am able to create a new one if I would like to use in this panel, and then I can create a new page design. For instance, I have already one, but I would like to create a new one. And what does it mean for the page design? So I will be navigated to this window and select this page design, for instance, demo 2, and click OK. And then I can specify all partials I would like to add to this design. For instance, I just select the footer and save it. And when I just navigate to the Experience Editor and goes to, as we can see, this is a demo to page design already created. And if I would like to create a new page, for instance, this one. And on the page, I can able to select appropriate page design, and I can select this demo to design. And if I navigate to the experience editor, I will be able to see this already added component like image. And even though also if I just, if I goes to the live site and check, so we can see that's already added, so no actions. And this is SXA and this is JSS, so we just create the page design that's can be flexible. So that means we can specify some designs, headers, footers with appropriate pages. And we do not need in this stuff, we do not need like in a standard Sitecore approach, we built branch templates, templates pages, specify some standard values for the presentations level, but right now we do not need, and this is real flexible and cool feature. Let me switch a bit. Probably my time is running out. I have some more minutes. Also the one cool feature, this is shared sites. So what does it mean? So we can specify this shared site in our SXA, and when we are building a new one, we can reuse some approaches in a new site. So this is also supported with SXA JSS sites, and this is a real cool feature. For instance, in our project, we are going to build many sites, and we built a root site and built all presentations, global data sources, and using this feature, you can real flexible to specify this approach and to reshare your content, your shared data sources. For instance, we have these page designs for the SAC Belarus site, and for the under the tenant item, we specify that this SAC Belarus will be shared. And if we built a new one, SAC Belarus new, we can see already in page designs, we see a drop down that's all stuff from the shared sites already filling out to this to new site, and this is a real also cool feature. And also there's a cool benefit for combining JSS and SXA with shared sites. So if we are gonna use multiple sites, like based on the region, based on the culture, etc., etc. So we built or branding. So what that means, we do not need to build any components because we already built it in a one application in our one JSS site. And so we just have the one deployment and the one application on a front-end side, and we can specify using site settings configuration. And for each setting, we need to just to change the application name just for to put to the root site and put the file destination path, and that's it. And that's a real also cool flexible feature. So what else? Probably I will skip. Probably 1 minute. I will just quickly demonstrate this stuff. So the under tenant, as we can also see, I select the SAC Belarus like a shared site. What does it mean for this one site? This is shared, and for the Belarus SAC Belarus new site, I need just to change the settings. As I mentioned before, I need to go to the settings and to change to put my JSS application name and also put the destination. So I just have the one build but shared with other sites. And how I can use for the home page, for instance, I do not create, as you can see, any presentations, any partials there, any any data sources. But as I navigate to my home page, and here I already have this all shared stuff and can also select the demo. And unfortunately, I don't remember the virtual folder for this guy. Okay, SAG new. And if I navigate to the live site, and put this virtual full, oops, not this one, SAG-N, and I see that I have the same component. So, and that's real flexible. And we have one JSS build, but we have a flexible with SXA part. The next benefit, this is a JSS benefit, this is a GraphQL. So we know that JSS, she delivered this cool feature. So we can, for some cases, we can use JSON rendering and specify in appropriate field this some GraphQL scripts and use it. But we discovered one feature, one issue during our project implementation. So by default, when we just scaffold this a new site, the layout service configuration will be put like SXA -JSS. And the GraphQL works with this configuration. This is configuration installed with out of the box, and this GraphQL endpoints work with it, but this doesn't work in Experience Editor. And we spent many times with this case why the GraphQL works, but in Experience Editor it doesn't work. And after that we just discovered that the configuration that use this out of the box doesn't support the Experience Editor approach. And the quick fix, this is just like remove SXA and keep JSS. Why JSS? When we scaffold with a code first approach, our implementation, our application, then this JSS configuration will be created. So, and you just need to remove this prefix and it will work. But also I questioned this in a Stack Exchange, and yeah, we provided also the answer then, but later this Sitecore team just added some notes into this question that this stuff will be fixed in SXA version 9.4, and this is a real great feature. And I will quickly demo it. So I have a new site for that sucked this demo. So I have a homepage. No. So that's okay. And this homepage, if I navigate it to there, I see that I have a component social. This is a social icon list component, and as you can see, the data source isn't set. But what is this component? I will demonstrate. But the data source really exists. This is the data source for this component. And if I navigate, and I have two links, and if I navigate to the rendering here rendering feature SUGCON social, and this is my component, and this is a JSON rendering, and as you can see, we added this stuff for the getting these items through the GraphQL. And this GraphQL really works, but that's I mentioned, if we navigate to the settings, and I will layout service configuration. And as you can see, if I remove this out of the box approach, this out of the box configuration that scaffolded with JSS site, and save it like a JSS, and to navigate to back and refresh this page. And as we can see, the experience editor also works with that. So yeah, this is a life hack. And yeah, I hope that will be fixed on the new version. So all right, and one more stuff that's really cool, but this is a layout service, so we can use this in a scope of the SXA JSS together. So we can use this endpoint and provide this endpoint for some testing. So we can use, for instance, layout service for contract agreement between backend and frontend team, as I mentioned before. So we just choose the Sitecore first approach, because the only backend team knows Sitecore. And when we just are going to build a new component, we specified, we built a template, we built a rendering, and then we just document it and put the link to appropriate page, for instance, and also the JSON response. Hello guys, you can build this component, and this is our contract you can use. And they, after that, build this component on the React side. And this is also a great feature. Also, the layout service supports translation. It's also cool. So, and SXA dictionary also supported with them, but we just switched. We do not use in our project SXA dictionary because in this case we need to synchronize this dictionary, and in SXA a dictionary created for each site. And as I mentioned, we do not synchronize content, only using modules. And but JSS, if there is no any dictionary inside the site, so this goes to the generic global Sitecore dictionary and grabs the data from this one, and we use this stuff. So contract agreement, copy paste issue. Sorry guys, don't remember what I would like to tell about the third point, but for the other point, we have also the real flexible way. This is item data source resolvers that's layout service provides for us. For instance, we can add additional data to the layout service context that can be grabbed then after in a front-end site. For instance, we have in our project we have many different wildcard pages, and in this case we to implement the wildcards with extending the resolver, and this is a real great stuff. So works flexible and real cool. And probably so the most I like the benefit from SXA is this is a script. So when you just configured your Sitecore instance with SXA modules with SXA, so you will be able to have real flexible PowerShell scripts So you do not need to jump to different places to trigger, for instance, open the experience editor. I really like this stuff. Also, we have additional scripts that we have done and some site removing because you cannot easily remove the site like a standard, like delete from an item. So you will have some issues, and the full removing needs to trigger these scripts. And also some more cool scripts for me. This is a packaging, for instance, when you quickly need to package some stuff, you do not need switch to the designer, Sitecore designer. You just click the item and quick packaging and quick download package. So that's really cool. Probably I would like most to use. So that's pretty all for today. I just wanted to show you, to demonstrate it. And so if you have any questions, so please, probably I can unmute all or raise your hand. Or yeah, raise your hand and I will answer if you have any questions. So, all right. So it seems no questions so far. Anyway, so you can ping me if you have some more in the future. So because so I am really glad to help you to answer, and you can find me on Twitter, on LinkedIn. Also, you can read some my technical blogs and take a look some GitHub modules and or write me email. So I on the chat I see someone just